decide what matters to you and what should be seed funded. We also asked you if you'd help us test some ways to put Papakura in the driving seat of its climate readiness journey and just test different ways of growing understanding, bringing people into the room and talking about what our adaptation choices were. The bonus of that is, Papakura in helping us with that becomes a little bit more climate ready and is better positioned to advocate when government or council or infrastructure providers come knocking on the door. But the learnings, the intention for this project is actually that we use what we learn here and what we learn from testing new things, and we use those to inform our regional policy across the Papakura. Next slide. So what have we achieved so far? We've actually gone quite a way to progress the first question. So we've already funded a pilot of the street meets, and we've funded some psychological first aid training because they were things that mattered to people on the ground. Today you've pitched some amazing ideas for seed funding, and then our next workshop will be getting you to decide how that funding is allocated. Seed funding is allocated for those projects. But the second question, I feel like we've still got a way to go. I would like to wrap some things around or alongside that complement what you're doing and actually just deepen the conversation. So we made a start. Ngāti Tama Oho was generously started us off with a haerenga or a tour around Papakura. We've had, been supporting the Community Resilience Network, which is going from here to here and is really going strong, and we've had kind of that taster series of introductory workshops around community hubs. We just talked about climate disruption, what it might be for Papakura. Next slide. So the next steps in terms of that first bit is obviously you decide what's being funded, and at some point we may need to find an organisation within the community that will hold that funding until the projects are ready to go. We're hoping to do that in kind of late March, early April, and then love to set up some or action groups where we identify a leader or leaders within the community to kind of get people on board around an idea, to do some planning about what might be needed to make it work, or to press go if it's ready to go. Okay, so the next step for the second bit is really where council's pitch comes in. So that's a stream of complementary activities that we coordinate, council can coordinate those. We'd love to work with you, working with Ngāti Tama Oho to coordinate some of those, kind of funding, dedicated funding for that. And I guess there'll be crossovers, but the aim is to just provide a bit of context about that helps you with all the moving parts, to deepen the conversation about climate adaptation and some of the other choices in there. So between accommodating change, protecting places and people we love, in some really hard circumstances, maybe considering retreat or different options for different places. And to help you reach people who are outside this room at the moment, we know that we'd really love to talk to some of our Pacifica community, our North Asian community, the business community, schools, things like that. And we would be testing tools to see what works in those conversations, what helps get people in the room and keep them there, what helps you in your decision making. Next slide. And so this is how I think the jigsaw could fit together. So alongside here, we've got these ideas that you've been talking today, and we've set up some working groups to plan and deliver those. We've got some ongoing communications, which Brian has been talking about today, and also that the Community Resilience Network are doing. The opportunity is for council to coordinate some things that might feed into those comms or support them, might feed into things that I know Matakino, you've got planned a climate wainanga, a science fair. So we were thinking we'd love to do a speaker series where we get different perspectives in the room, perhaps bring someone from the insurance sector, someone from the banking sector or the real estate sector, some scientists from NIWA perhaps, some of our hazards specialists to do kind of a pop-up series where we talk about some of the different things that we might need to think about as our climate changes. Developing some collateral that might help with joint social media to just amplify what we're all doing. There's a thing called a climate press, which is kind of a workshop that basically you can take people through kind of what human behaviour, what human activity is doing to our climate and our environment, and how that changes our environment, and then what the impacts are. So that it deepens that scientific understanding of what's happening. We'd love to do one of those. We'd love to do some work with you on just identifying, in the face of change, what are Papakura's strengths? Where are we most sensitive? What, not only are we exposed to risks like flooding, but actually as a community, what are the strengths that we can build on to respond? And we'd also like to give you a bit more clarity on what council can do and what the limitations might be on that, so you know when you're planning your stuff what might be possible and where the areas you might need to advocate on are. There's a possibility, I'm still working on this, there's an online tool called the adaptation game, trying to just scope whether that's something that we could bring to Papakura and do here. And the thing that we would love to get you to do is get us to the point of doing a first generation statement for Papakura. These are Papakura's priorities as we move from